me tell you a story inspired to the Carolina Storyteller. Written by me, produced by me, edited by me, starring me, horribly marketed by me. I'm 2 years in and I don't have a team. If you want to support the podcast, please go to patreon.com/Carolina Storyteller and subscribe. We've got 3 tiers, and from those 3 tiers, you can get early episodes, exclusive content, and if you go for the big bucks, we'll even let you be part of the live audience. Stay spooky, my friends.
Welcome back to the show, folks. I am Jonathan Phoenix, the Carolina Storyteller, and I'm joined today by a cosplayer who is just wonderful. If you have seen her TikToks, or if you've seen her on Instagram, or if you've seen her on YouTube, you know exactly who I'm talking about. JaneSG. Jane, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks so much for being here today. Jane, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about what you do? I mean, I know who you are. I'm sure some of my listeners or people watching, because now we're on video, know who you are. But for everybody that doesn't know, please share with us.
Yeah, so, yes, I go by Jane, and I have been doing cosplays for about 2.5 years now. It all started with me changing a job, and in between time it just kind of gave me a reset on life, and I always wanted to do cosplay. I always thought it was really cool, so I just said, you know what, the only way I'm going to figure it out is if I try. And I did a whole bunch of different stuff at first, trying to find my niche, but then I did a Princess Trunks cosplay, and that was like, it just blew up, so I was like, oh, I guess this will be my niche then. And so I made sure to watch more of the official Dragon Ball. Because of it, I'm like, I can't be no poser. So I made sure to educate myself a little bit further on everything, and I've just been having a blast on it. Especially especially on TikTok is when a lot of the videos got more views and I got more followers, and even meeting cosplay friends on there who have similar interests and just make amazing content. So yeah, that's where I think I can start off with.
Cosplay really does bring a lot of people together. I've tried my hand at cosplay once, and the problem is I never had the time to put a costume together because I like doing armor, and my cosplay was a Halo suit of armor, and it took me 2 months to build, and I wore it on Halloween to take my kids trick or treating, and it was awesome because
Yeah.
everybody wanted to take pictures of me in it, but it fell apart during the night,
Yeah.
and so I have not attempted. I have not attempted since. I've made my kids cosplays. My son has done Link from Legend of Zelda, of course, and my other son has done something from Undertale. I can't remember what it was. I'm not that
Oh,
familiar with it.
that with that. I love that game.
Yeah, my
It's
kids
really
love it too, and they've actually had me sit down and play it, and I find that it's really interesting. Sans is a hilarious character.
yes.
I'm waiting
Sands
for
of
you
the
to do a
Pirate.
Sans cosplay. That'll be hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Now, outside of the cosplay, you do some modeling on the side as well. Cosplay's not all that you do. You're also a model and have been doing that for several years. And you're also a social worker. Does the cosplay kind of help balance out the stress with all of that?
Yes. The short answer, yes. So yeah, I actually started doing modeling first. I started in 2015. Ironically, I was working at Tim Hortons, where you wear just the most ugliest ensembles, the khaki pants, the brown shirt, the band-aid colored smock, hairnet, everything. But a girl who also worked there said, like, you should do modeling and stuff. I have a guy. And I was like, oh, no, I'm scared. But I was at a point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I will never know unless I try. The worst thing I can do is suck, and then I'm like, well, I tried. But if I don't try these new things, I'll always be in the what ifs and wish I would have tried. And I did, and I was very surprised at how nice the pictures looked. And I was also very scared of, like, I imagine what it would be like in the movies when it comes to working with a photographer, that they would be cold and being, like, mean or something like that. But no, it's not like that at all. Like, they're super friendly and nice. ideas, and it was a great experience. So once I launched my pictures on like a local Facebook group, which is usually what I recommend for people if you're getting into modeling the first time, is pay for the professional ones. Do what you got to do, and then you can find a local Facebook group that does Rochester modeling and photography. Is where I started,
Hmm.
and so I got out there, and then all of these people reached out to me and was like, "I want to work with you," and I'm like, "Yeah." Most of the modeling stuff I do is just local things of things that we just want to do, and I do what's called trade for prints, which is basically like I get to do a photo shoot completely for free, and I get, a certain amount of pictures, and we're just kind of helping each other, get some clout. Um, so,
Building a portfolio for the photographer and for you at the same time.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, see,
So,
that's a way
yeah,
to
go
do
ahead.
it. That's really a good way to do it.
It's not something that I just knew. It's something you ask the right people the right questions, and then yeah, I was working actually with domestic violence victims as a social worker for 5 years,
Mhm.
and I worked at an emergency hotline, a shelter. I also did the court program, the pet program,
Oh,
counseling, ability. But I loved it. I loved the work that I did, but it's a lot after a while. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just was at a point where I'm like, I need to hit a reset button. Um, so I took a couple months off of work, and even though I have my where I work now, still doing social work related things,
mhm.
uh, I needed that reset button, and because I was trying for the longest time to find something fulfilling, because all I was doing was living to work. When you're in your early 20s and you're just getting your first big girl job, and it's like you are super excited and you want to work your way up to the ranks, and now I'm like, no, I'm okay now. I don't need all of that. So I discovered cosplay in that in between time
Mhm.
as a outlet, because I was trying to do other stuff, painting, drawing, but it just wasn't having that fulfillment where it's like I could just do art on my face. That's the fun part. Um, so yeah, I just fell in love with it ever since.
Well, you've obviously gone somewhere with it, and like you said earlier, you didn't want to have the what ifs. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, I know about the what ifs because it's how I'm doing it. And like you were saying, working together, helping people out, that's exactly how this podcasting thing is working. Believe it or not, you just go out and you ask the right people and you get them in here. And honestly, I can tell you, I relate to you because I spent 20 years in emergency services as a
Really?
firefighter and EMT. And
Oh,
I've dealt with a lot of those. I've dealt with a lot of those DV calls, and
oh,
it's really stressful. And that's why having an outlet like cosplay or in what you're doing is so great for your mental health because it gives you some way to just kind of decompress from all of that. Because it's really it's it will get to you over the time. Trust me, I can tell you. So I hope that you keep going on with that. And I'm really happy to hear that it's doing it for you and it's keeping you going because believe me, as someone who suffers from PTSD from being in that world for so long, it can be very hard. So I'm glad you're taking care of your mental health and everything. Um, what's your favorite cosplay that you've done so far? I know my favorite of yours is Nappa, and if anybody has not seen her Nappa yet, you need to go to the links that are going to be in the guest profile on thecarolinastoryteller.com and just look for the videos of her doing Nappa. It's hilarious. But what's your favorite?
yeah. So I get asked this question sometimes, and I feel like I can't choose just a one because they have different fulfillments for me. So I usually have
Mhm.
a top three.
Oh,
Um,
please.
so now one of them where I had a for it. After I watched the Ghost Nappa theme song from Team Four Star, I was like, I want to be it. I know that's not what normal people think, but I'm like, I want that on my body. I want to try it. And I didn't really. I had certain things already. When you're first starting out, cosplay's expensive. You think
Oh
you
yeah.
only need a couple things, and then together you're like, oh crap, I needed more than I thought. Oh crap. So I did the best I could. Never put on a bald cap before. I was just hoping and praying. Um, and I was like nervous because, that first thing I did was Princess Trunks and people loved how it looked. It was a very pretty look.
It is. It
Um,
really is.
Nappa was not that. And I'm like, I hope other people think it's funny. I don't lose the few followers I just gained, but people loved it. So I was like, oh, thank God, So it was validating, and it just got me excited to make more and to continue to grow. It fueled that fire that my one Princess Trunks cosplay wasn't just going to be it for me. So I love bringing that back whenever I can. Um, Princess Trunks also has a special place in my heart because that's when I first started, and I always think it's prettiest. But lately, what has also been high up there for me, it used to be, Android 18 is the third spot, but I just filmed more today. My Elvira,
Ooh. I saw the Elvira picture. You look fabulous.
thank you. And I just filmed today, but by the time it was like kind of getting close to our time, I'm like, I need a shower. I hurt. I can't.
I
I can't
understand
be
completely.
tired. But I just did a Christmas Elvira, so that will be debuting soon. Especially when we're recording this. Tomorrow will be December 1st, so have her all ready and set.
So
Not to date this episode,
this
but
isn't going to air till January, but yeah, this is actually this will actually be season 2 of episode 2. Episode 2 of season 2. So this will be airing second week of January. But still, everybody can go back and check out the Christmas things. And of course, the links are going to be up on thecarolinastoryteller.com for everybody to find you beforehand and to get hyped for the episode. But I can't wait to see it. I'm going to be excited.
yeah, especially because I like quote unquote made this outfit, where I just got this outfit like as the base, but then I was sewing on like that white, plush that you
Hmm.
usually have. I just sewed that on there to make it look more of a vision that I had. The only thing that I was my mistake, because that always happens when you're making cosplays, is
Oh,
that the
yeah.
white I got, I should have ordered it in a stretchy, because once I'm actually putting it on, I was like, uh-oh, what have I done? The dress was stretchy, but not this. So it was a little.
I had that problem using automotive fiberglass to do the outside of Halo armor, and it was my first time ever using automotive fiberglass for anything, and I did not know what I was doing, and I almost scrapped like 3 or 4 pieces making that thing. So
Yeah.
you've got to be careful when you're making cosplays with the materials that you buy because sometimes the wrong material ruins everything.
Oh yeah. I try to do some test pieces if I have something extra,
Mhm.
but it doesn't. Yeah, I just do it and try. Like, I don't know if you ever saw the video of. I'm such a dingbat, but me making my Perfect Cell cosplay for the first time.
No, I missed that when I saw you making Shinron.
Okay, so this was even before that.
Uh-huh.
So with my Perfect cosplay that I have, I was trying to look for a green morph suit that was super similar to the color, but I couldn't find anything. Like, what the frick? So instead, I ordered just a regular, like a darker green, which is what that Shenron cosplay. I just ordered 2 of them. So I painted this, but because it was paint on a morph suit, it just sucked all of the paint. So I had to do so many layers. I was losing my mind, and by the time it dried, it was just paper. So it was a video of me just trying to squeeze into it, and people found that quite humorous. I was sweating. I couldn't zip it. I'm standing there. I'm like, I did
It
it.
probably didn't breathe at all.
No, it was terrible. But now, since I've worn it a few times now, it's fine. Um, but it was. I was like, well, I would do things differently next time. But hey, I gotten quite a few pieces out of it. I hope to redo it and make it better. But it's been working for me for now.
Trial and error. Trial and error is definitely the way that we learn with everything. Um, what is what's something we can expect for the future? Are you gonna do Master Roshi?
Everyone asked me that. I'm like, I don't want to be bald for another person.
But you got Tien, you got Krillin, you got um, Nappa. Roshi's
Mhm.
the only one left, and at least he's got the beard.
Yes, and King Kai was also bald. That was technically two bald caps that I made. So
Really?
when I cosplay Nappa, I bought a really cheap, crappy bald cap from Spirit Halloween, where it would just like it literally just slides on, and it looked terrible. So I got a regular one, so I covered my hair that way, and then I took that old bald cap, the crappy one, and I cut it to make it his hat, and I just painted over it. I'm like, perfect. So it was
Oh,
able to fit way. Yeah, I guess I got use out of it. So there was that one too. Oh god. Yeah, it's just the only thing with bald caps is it's fine here gluing it. It's just I am a hairy Italian lady, so I have very hairy neck, so trying to take that part off, I'm like, and I can't get it to stay. Sometimes you'll see clear tape on my neck because I just can't get it to work. So it's not always the best job, but it is a job.
as long as it works long enough for the TikTok, right?
Yes. As you know, pieces are falling off, and you're like, gosh dang it. Like, even my Shenron, the little Dragon Balls I had on the corset kept falling off, and I'm like, stop! So I had to keep gluing it back on a couple of times,
You
which I
couldn't see
will
that
have
in the video.
for Christmas video, so don't worry about that.
Okay, that's good to
Yeah.
hear. All right, so I do have a story for you, and of course, you have portrayed almost every character that I can imagine in the Dragon Ball universe, except for, like I said, maybe Chi Chi, uh, King Yima, and Roshi, uh, or maybe have you done? Yeah, I think just about all of them except for those three that I could think of, and that's me running down through the whole roster. I might be wrong, I don't know, but you've portrayed
Well, no,
almost everyone now.
I have done Chi Chi. So I have done that before. Been a minute. I don't do her cosplay that often, and it's like the blue and red outfit too from like the early Dragon Ball because I couldn't find the other one on damn online.
Okay, so
But
you've
yeah,
done
no,
early Chi
I've done
Chi.
more Roshi.
Okay, so
Never, but right now I'm like, please God, no.
basically, we can take almost all of your videos clipped together and get Team Four Stars Dragon Ball Abridged almost completely done, and some of Devil Artemis's Cell Versus. So
Yeah.
it's really awesome. The story I've got for you, as you know, Son Goku, or you may not know, did you know that Son Goku is actually based off of a Chinese legend?
Yeah.
And do you know anything about the legend?
I don't, but I have heard that, but I don't know anything about the legend. So go on.
It is the legend of the Chinese Monkey King. And his name is actually, and I'm going to see if I can pronounce it right without butchering it here. So I'm going to look at the pronunciation again real quick because it is pronounced in Japanese as Goku, but in Chinese it is Sun Wukong. And I hope I didn't butcher that. Um,
It
and
sounded cool. I don't
it's
know.
spelled Wukong, and he is the Monkey King. Um, he was born, of course, as a regular monkey, born from a magical crystal, but he was super smart, of course, and had all these mystical powers. And he starts causing a little bit of havoc. He is a demon originally, and he causes havoc, but he's more of a rambunctious rapscallion. So, in an attempt to placate him, the Jade Emperor makes Son Goku, gives him a position in heaven.
Okay.
Basically, he's heaven's stable boy. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in his time on Earth, no, wait, I forgot something that's important.
Okay.
Before the Jade Emperor did that, Son Goku had actually amassed a massive amount of treasures to adorn himself with in his causing of chaos, including, do you remember Goku's staff from early
Yes.
on in Dragon Ball?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Son Goku had the same thing, an
Oh,
expandable 8-ton staff that he hauled around and beat people with. It's important to point that out because you need to understand that Son Goku was actually a badass and
Mm.
became so much of a badass that when his life was over, he snuck around and found the Book of Life and Death and erased his name and the names of his friends.
Holy cow.
So when Death was going, okay, who do I got to pick up next? Son Goku wasn't on there. Essentially, he made himself immortal. Of course, this pissed off other dragons and everything, and the Jade Emperor was like, okay, look, you know what? I'm going to give you a position in heaven. We'll give you a job. You can be our stable boy. This did not work for Son Goku, who throws a hissy fit, names himself Heaven's equal, basically. He loved giving himself weird titles, and
Hmm.
then proceeds to just kind of release all of the cloud horses from the stable and cause all kind of havoc.
Of course.
They get that settled. The Jade Emperor realizes maybe he did a little bit wrong. So he goes back again to Son Goku and he gives him a higher position. This works fine for a few hundred years until somebody throws a party and doesn't invite Son Goku. He goes on a full out rampage. He is wrecking shit. And after trying to kill him like 500 times and failing, the Jade Emperor finally decides to imprison him. And for
Oh.
500 years, Son Goku is imprisoned beneath a mountain until a traveling monk in need of aid on his quest agrees to release Son Goku if he will release him. And this is where the story of Son Goku kind of takes off, actually, because of course I've given you the backstory and the legend, but it is in A Journey to the West is the name of it's one of the four great Chinese novels, including I think it's oh, I can't remember the name of the other novel now, but it's one of the four great Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That's the other one.
Okay.
One of the four great novels. And this novel, Journey to the West, Son Goku aids this monk on his journey and kind of attains hero status as he goes. Because remember, before he's been kind of this miscreant troublemaker, and now he's going through this other journey and becoming this heroic, godlike. But he has always been a bit of a prankster, a bit of a trickster, a bit of a troublemaker, always willing to go for a fight. And the similarities that you see from the legend to actual Goku in the cartoons are very interesting. Son Goku had the flying cloud that he flew upon, that he tamed with his monkey tail, I believe. Of course, he had the expandable staff, which weighed
Mhm.
8 tons. And, if somebody wanted to fight, he'd swing that thing around and whack him. He was, he
Like,
was always eating. He loved to eat and he loved to steal food and eat food. In fact, at one point in time, he was supposed to be guarding some mystical peaches that granted the gods their powers for the Jade Emperor. Yeah,
mhm.
he ate those. He just had himself some fun. He's eating, drinking. Sounds a lot like Goku or from Dragon Ball, doesn't it? And when you
Yeah.
think about the hijinks, it really does fit. And this legend is hundreds of years old. And it has been a fairy tale that has been told to young Chinese children probably for forever. This enduring legend of the Monkey King, who started out as this just mischievous scamp who was causing problems, and then later helped someone on their journey and became this great hero and the great Monkey King that he is known as now. And of course, he's still got that little mischievous streak. He's still the ultimate badass. And I am just scratching the surface on the story of Son Goku. It
Yeah.
really is. I've not read the whole book, but what I've read in research, I now have to go read Journey to the West because just this legend is just like, oh, I got to read all of that. It is just
Yeah.
amazing. Everything, when you compare it to everything that Goku and his friends have done over the, what, 30 some odd years, 40 years that Dragon Ball has been around, early 80s, since he was first found by Gohan in the woods and raised with his 4-star Dragon Ball till today now, where they're superheroes and you've got Ultra Instinct and all of that going on. He's come a long way, and it's been a long journey, just like his namesake, the Monkey King, Son Goku from the ancient
Mm,
legend. And so that is the story that I have for you.
wow,
Yeah,
that was pretty dope. Of
yeah.
course, my mind certain things as you were talking, so I was like, like when you said in the beginning that like, oh, the Son Goku was very smart. I was like, so, because ours was kind of known as a, not the smartest. And depending on which saga that you're in, he may have varying levels, or whether you're watching the original or Team Four Star, which makes him like extra
His
dumb.
intelligence kind of goes up and then goes way down.
Yeah, because it's
Like,
like he was like that as a kid, because obviously he was little and didn't know anything of what was going on. So, but he wasn't like that too much in Z. But once we got to Super, everyone's like, "Oh, well, they just made him extra dumb." And it's like, no, he was always like this. It just bringing him back
like
to
no,
his
no, they
roots.
just brought him back. Like you
Yeah,
don't get it. Like,
and I was out with the new series that will be starting. I think it's Dragon Ball Magic. How how it's portraying itself to an audience as of right now. It's like they're trying to make GT but a better version. So it's not just Goku becoming a child again, it's all of them. And he gets the staff back again, and that's where my mind went. I'm like, we're gonna get it again. Um, yeah, and then the last thing that came to my mind, where I of course giggled a little bit, was when you were saying he was imprisoned in a mountain. I thought of that bit from Team Four Star of, "Hi, General Mountain, my name's Goku," and he just gets slammed the
well,
freaking rock.
believe it or not, in the original Dragon Ball series, they took a lot from some of the original legend of the Monkey King and used
Yeah.
that to base Goku off of. He wasn't just namesake Son Goku.
Mm-hmm.
The staff that he carried, the way that he was raised in the wild on a mountain by his grandfather, um, and had to come and learn about the world, and then he goes back to the mountain and kind of rules the mountain. A lot of that had to do with how Goku's legend was. The legend was, now granted, it's not scene for scene, word for word, but a lot of the things from the legend were taken and put into the character. you know, Goku as a character, they make him very dumb. He doesn't have book smarts and street smarts, but he is a very intelligent and crafting character. And strategy wise, when it comes to a fight, Goku thinks fights out really quick. But
Oh
if you
yes.
ask him about a marriage, he's going to be like, "Ooh, I want some of that."
Yeah.
He has no clue. I don't think he still understands that he's married to Chi Chi. He's just like, there was cake and I was happy.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Well, folks, that's our story for today. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed being here with Jane SG. You can find all of her stuff. All of her links are going to be in this video. They're going to be on the Spotify, and they're going to be on thecarolinastoryteller.com. Jane, do you have anything else to add? Anything to tell anybody? Anywhere to look before we go?
Great question. I was like, oh god. Yeah, so all those will be on there, depending on which social media it is. I do kind of varying stuff, but it's all similar. I have my TikToks. I have two. Because my first channel I was banned for 6 months for no reason, and then I brought it back, so
Hmm.
that allowed me to do different ones, not just Dragon Ball things, but still being able to do my regular Dragon Ball content on my main channel. I have my Instagram, where I not only post some videos that not all of them always go to my TikTok, but I always also have some my cosplay and modeling photos, and I also have a Patreon too, where not only do I have exclusive videos and photos on there, I also have an art page, and it was really fun to do one of the submissions, because it's basically body art, where, how do I describe this? So I let people choose a body part that I will paint. So I will paint that part and I'll use it as the background of my canvas. I'll just be like, whoo! And from there, I will paint the characters over it that they choose. You know, it could be just one, it could be up to 5, just in case somebody wanted to get use. But you can't tell just by looking at it that I smeared myself on it, but they know. So you can still hang it up in your house and it's not nasty, but you know. You know.
But you know, okay. Now I get it. Yes, they know. So,
Yeah,
folks, if you want something that they won't know, but you'll know where to go.
Dang it. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed being on here.
Well, thanks for being here. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll get to have you back. It was wonderful having you here. And again, love so much what you do. Every time I see your videos, I get a good laugh out of it. It really does brighten my day. And I'm sure my viewers are going to love you too. Again, JaneSG, folks. You'll find all of her links. Remember, if you guys enjoy the show, go to patreon.com/Carolina Storyteller. You can support. We've got 3 tiers. $3, you can get access to the episodes earlier. So the January episodes you'll be getting at the end of December. For $5, you'll actually get to see a whole bunch of unedited clips and a whole bunch of extras. And then for $10, starting in January, we're going to be having live recordings where you can be a part of the audience. Jane, again, thank you so much for being here. I loved having you, and we will see you again soon. That's it for the show, folks. Have a good night, and stay spooky, my friends.